Hello. Okay, first thing, I'm not sure how many people are going to be watching this because I can't use Instagram right now. My tablet has a busted USB port, which means I can't get data directly out of it. I could upload things to the cloud, then download them to the tablet, but it also means I can't get power into it, which is a little bit more of a problem. There are ways to get around it, but what we've done is we've ordered the replacement. This will be the second time we've replaced this part because it's very delicate. But now the kiddo will not be allowed to use this tablet, this old tablet. He has the cheap tablet, which has its own problems, and I can't do Instagram on that. So, no Instagram for now. I do know there are ways to post to Instagram from desktop. The first way I tried didn't work. I have had suggestions from other people about what works for them. I may or may not try those. It's just I get weird about installing stuff on my computer because it's not so new either. And I want to keep it working. So, yeah. And yesterday I sat down on the floor with my suitcase full of lace and trim and the video camera up above me, and I recorded me babbling about lace and trim while I tried reorganizing it and getting everything to fit a little better than it did before. And with the first round of, I might do more edits, but with the first round of edits, it came to 52 minutes. I don't know if people want to listen to me talk about lace for 52 minutes. I've asked, a few people have said, yeah, they like to hear me babble. But I guess I could split it into 2 or 3 parts. I don't know if that would be weird, or just one big 52 minutes of me talking about lace. Okay. And I obviously finished sewing this shirt. I have not started on any other clothes for me or other humans, but I did use the leftovers of this shirt to make this dress. This actually ended up being a lot more skirt than I thought there would be, because initially I thought I would be using a little bit to make the top, the bodice and the sleeves, and then I thought I would have barely enough to get a basic skirt, one front and the back, one piece on the front, 2 pieces on the back, thinking ahead of myself. But then I just started playing around with bits of cloth and combining them and sort of making patchwork, not patchwork, but I like added some bias cut sections like this and this. Because this shirt actually has this whole thing here is cut on the bias, so it creates a lot of bias scraps. So this ended up being a lot of skirt, and this actually has all this floof and volume on its own, but I went ahead and threw together a petticoat just to make it look like something else was making the volume so big. And there's some weird stuff going on in the back here, because this is not the highest quality cloth. So if I'd known what I was doing, I might have been able to make it longer, but as it is, I'm pretty happy with this. And of course you see Iris is the first one to wear it because these are her colors pretty much. I have posted pictures. I got pictures of this up on Instagram before the tablet died, and of course I also have them on Flickr. The only difference is the pictures on Flickr aren't square. Other than that, they're pretty much the same pictures. So that was the first doll thing I sewed. Then I decided I wanted to... Okay, the doll last week with the Unita head that I dressed in the sort of neon colors, she's the one with the smile. Oh. This one. When I first was thinking about dressing her, I pulled out this sweater, which I received in a doll craft swap years ago. I'm sorry, I don't even remember who knit it anymore. Definitely not me. I don't knit. But I thought I would be playing off of her brown hair and dress her in neutral colors, but I could not find the skirt I wanted her to wear, so I went ahead and dressed her in this. And then I eventually remembered where that skirt was, and I was determined to put somebody in that skirt, so that became Reese here. You see the skirt? Has dinosaurs on it. This was actually originally a print that was supposed to make a sort of soft sculpture craft book, or soft sculpture book. It's a craft panel that's, I don't think they make craft panels very much anymore, but they were really big in the 80s and the 90s, where you'd buy like a yard of cloth that would have the whole project on it. Like it'd be a vest and it'd have the front and back of the vest on it already, and you'd supply the other cloth, but it would be specifically printed to be a vest. And you cut out the best shapes, and then you make the vest out of this craft print. Or it would be, a lot of the craft prints I have are for making sort of plush animals, although they're not soft plush, it's made out of cotton, calico. But all the pieces would be printed on there already, and all you had to do was cut them out and stuff them. And so this was, it was to make a book of dinosaurs with all the dinosaur illustrations being taken from postage stamps that were issued in I think the early 90s. So I have made a few bits of clothing from these. I had them for sale just through very random places. It's when I was trying to see if I could not do Etsy, which I'm definitely, until I go to my bank and make the effort to open a new bank account so that Etsy Pay would not touch my real bank account, you know, just for safety, I'm not going to be selling on Etsy, but I'm not sure if Etsy's worth the trouble. So I do have a sales post up now. Again, I would have posted this on Instagram if I could have. It's up on my So I Am blogger? It's a blogger or blogspot? I can never remember. I think it's blogger. I'll put a link down there. It's just some random dolls that I'm clearing out, and a lot of them have been spoke for already. There's actually not a lot left on the sales post, but I've been getting this feeling lately that I want to really declutter, so I might be taking more dolls and putting them on the list. I'm not sure. I go back and forth about whether I have too many dolls or whether I want more and more dolls. But I have so many dolls I could make that I could probably get rid of the dolls that I have, that I've put together, and I don't know. I've been in the last day or so this really weird feeling about why aren't I making more things? Because I know I have, and I've had this problem forever. If I can't get something started and finished and cleaned up after on the same day, I tend to not even want to start. I have to get over that. I have to realize it's perfectly okay to start something, even if it would just be a little bit of doll clothes, and not finish it that day. So I'm trying to do that. And another thing I need to work on is it's okay to start one project when you're not finished with the previous project. That's something else I've been using. It's like, I cannot start this one because I haven't finished this one. But I don't want to finish this one because I don't like where it's going. I want to work on that one, but not this one, but I have to finish this one. I go back and forth like that. I need to stop. Anyway, so I decided she would wear this dinosaur skirt. And this, again, I don't knit. This is from Love to Knit Doll Clothes on Etsy. I haven't bought anything from her for years, but she knits fun stuff. It's a little loose and baggy, but it's an okay look. So, and this doll is Integrity Toys Dynamite Girls Vintage Vinyl Reese, who I cut off all her original hair because I didn't like the color. And this is just textured acrylic craft yarn that I've glued on, but I like the look. And her eyes were sort of orangish originally, and I just painted over them to be light purple. And as I say pretty much every time I post a picture of this doll, when I was in college in the early 90s, pretty much all of my note margins had people looking like this scribbled in it. Short, pale, fluffy hair and purple eyes. That was just my heroine archetype in the 90s. So now I have her in doll form. And then I decided I would start sewing from some of the cloth that was sent to me recently. I do need to sew. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to sew things to thank people. And I did sew one thing to thank a person, and then I sewed two things for me. I won't show the thing I sewed to thank a person because it will be a surprise, but I'm using the same cloth and what was left of it, I'm starting with smaller pieces of cloth because if I can use up all of it, I feel better. Again, that has to do with my whole, I like to get it done. I don't like to have leftovers from a project because then I have to deal with storing it and potentially forgetting about it and reusing it in the future. And my brain is not organized. I just like to put things in boxes and make it look organized. So, I made this dress, and she's a very 1969, 1970, 71 vibe. I kind of think of the Shani doll as sort of the artsy one. And I know that has to do with her short red hair for some reason. This is also yarn that I've cut short and glued on. Although this is a pretty high wool content. I think it's a mix of wool and acrylic. But someday I will repaint her face. She is cute. She has a slight lip rub, but she is very 90s. And this is the Mattel Shani Sculpt, but this particular head was, Mattel had a line of not Barbie, not Shani dolls that were, I only ever saw them in Toys R Us in the mid-late 90s called Asha. Not to be confused with the Asha Sculpt, which Mattel is still using from the Shani line. But this doll was, I think, the second edition of Asha's, which they had printed kente cloth with a lot of purple in it, so it didn't look very authentic. But anyway, so my artsy gal on her. Gymnast style body, flat feet. She doesn't have a lot of shoe options. I probably should grind these down so they can wear live shoes and flat, curvy / tall Barbie shoes. I finally figured out on another doll I made clothes for. I ground her feet down and they still don't fit into these smaller shoes. I finally figured out the big problem with these. Even when you contour them so that there is, an arch to the foot, and even when you cut off the toes so they're not so long, they are still too wide. So I think in the future, if I grind off the sides and make them more tapered, they might be able to wear other shoes, since gymnast dolls don't have a lot of options. These are from the Young Sweethearts Melissa, which was the first time Mattel ever used this kind of body in the 70s. So like I said, she's vintage. And then the other dress I made, also from the cloth sent by Natalia, and I should use it to make things to thank people, but you remember I received those catwalk kitties, factory second heads in a trade, and I painted the bodies for them and I put the heads on the bodies, and then I just dressed them in off-the-rack clothes. Clothes I already had. Most of them were also ready-made doll clothes. So I decided that I would make this dress for one of the catwalk kitties, so she's finally wearing something homemade. And this dress is also kind of inspired by Anne Picaro, talking about how she's letting a lot of her Barbies go because she wants Barbies that can wear Blythe style, Blythe Momoko style, and the easiest way to do that is to have Barbies that can physically wear Blythe and Momoko clothes. So I thought I would make a Blythe / Momoko style dress in Barbie scale, just because I do so. Because I do like dolls that can have that Blythe / Momoko style too, which that's kind of what I was going for with her. Again, though, in Barbie size, it can look a little different when it's on Barbie. But big baggy cable knit, hand knit sweater and a dinosaur skirt, I think sounds pretty Blythe-y to me. So, and this is one of the dolls whose feet I did grind down. You can see. It's considerably shorter, and I didn't contour it any. I don't know if you can even see that. But it was playing around with these feet that I realized that the width is still the problem about why she can't get into live type shoes now, or flat foot new fashionista shoes. Sorry. But these 1990s teen skipper shoes come to the rescue a lot. I've actually been dressing articulated Barbie bodies with flat feet in these since the 90s, because I'm old. So anyway, and this is a V and Va headband and a random Barbie necklace, and I like the way she turned out. I would normally put more jewelry on, but I am still kind of terrified of scraping off the wrists, the paint, and everything. And she does have hose on, again, to protect her paint. Because I give myself the extra layer of frustration. Not only do I have to dress this awkward body with flat feet, but there's paint on it, so I have to be careful not to scrape all the paint off. But I said I like the way she turned out. I think I did good. And I did finally take off her clothes. They're on the sales post, but I'm still not ready to actually do anything with her yet. Might put more dolls on the sales list. I might make myself wait until I've sewn thank you clothes for people who have sent me things. And I have another set of thank you clothes to sew. Picked it up from the post office today. Someone contacted me and said, I have some Nika dolls that I'm not bonding with. One has a Blythe body, one has a Nika body. Would you like them? And my response is basically, do you have any idea how much I have been stalking Mandarake and eBay and whatever, looking for any cheap Rika that I would feel comfortable buying? Ideally, of course, I would like one with fantasy hair, but even though I have about 8,000 dolls I want to reroute, I could reroute Rika. So I have not opened this yet to see who I got, but I picked it up from the post office today. Thank you. Actually, I will have sent you the thank you email by the time this video goes up. So like I said, I'm only organized because I like jars and boxes and things. I have everything right at my fingertips just because I can't resist buying things to put them in. Can't wait to see what you create. I'm going to hide your head, but look at the cute kitty stickers. She knows me, I'd say. Alright. That one seems to have the Rika body, so this one will have the Blythe body, yes. I do like Rika. I have had some in the past and I've let them go because, again, I am just a weird, fickle doll person, but I'm trying to get better about not being an articulation snob. Yes, I do like articulation, but I have to let the dolls be cute when they just need to be cute. So, and this is your standard cute Rika. She is on the Blythe body. And she has... ooh, she has purple eyes. Oh yes, she's... although her hair is lovely, but I can give her fantasy hair because she already has quite a few fantasy colors in her face. But this is nice hair. That's... I like doing reroutes, but I'm okay at styling, but I'm not great at styling. But she does feel like she'll be soft enough to give a reroute. Although this one... again, I have no idea what dolls these are. Fantasy hair! Thank you so much, fantasy hair. Speechless. Oh yay. I wouldn't say this is a dream Rika because the way I function with dolls, I don't dream about dolls, I just take what I can get. But if I had a dream Rika, it would probably be about like this. Oh, she's fantastic, thank you. So I might not reroute her after all because I can enjoy this hair color and enjoy this hair color. Oh, I think I will trim her hair a little because, see how this hair is nice and straight and blunt across the back, and her hair is obviously rerouted, pulled out like this, and cut, which is very common for dolls. I can go around and round and spend 20 minutes trimming and getting things even. She has plenty of hair that I can make mistakes on and still recover. Oh yay, thank you. I'm sorry I won't be able to get pictures on Instagram yet unless I mess with those programs on my computer. We'll see. So I will definitely be taking pictures of her and posting them on Flickr. Probably, well, my video has to render today. If not today, then tomorrow. And find clothes for her. So I actually don't have as many dolls with Life Eureka size bodies as I used to, so all the clothes that I have for this size I don't get to use as much. So we'll see if I have something that I think works for her, or if I have to make some new clothes for her. Thank you. And I will be making things, doll clothes for you as thanks. But Pastelika, thank you so much. I can't wait to go dress her. Thank you. Bye.